Hey there, folks. Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation. Welcome to a slightly delayed Friday 15 minutes with me. Every Friday, I sit down and talk to athletes just like you about endurance training and racing. Inside Endurance Nation, we work together as a community to get smarter and get faster. And a huge part of that is doing things in public, right? Going out, saying we're going to do something, do it, capturing the lessons learned, sharing that with the team. By doing it in a community environment, we not only fast track your ability to get better, but we also make it more likely that you're going to do those things, right? Little public accountability, little support network, all the good things. And I bring that up simply because I'm in the middle of preparing for Mini March, which is the second of 3 total steps for the ENVEREST challenge here in 2021. Tomorrow is Mini March, which is a day of exercise. You can do 4, 6, or 10 hours of exercise. I have picked 10. And I am going to be going to crack 10, actually, trying to crack 10 for a virtual Everesting attempt, which is my thing. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And I got some good stuff, so stick around for that. However, what I want to talk a little bit about today is the value of camps and epic events like this with regards to your training. I talk about this topic very often, and I want to bring a different spin to it this time around, simply to talk a little bit about what it means to create camps now moving forward, right? So we've hit the pandemic. Everything that we know for training and the normalcy around the sort of very not rigid, but very specific schedule that we need to follow to be successful as endurance athletes has been disrupted. Now, where do we go to move forward, right? Where, like, you can't just go on the internet and pick a space. Like, you may not be able to go there. You may not feel safe in the area. You may not feel safe leaving where you are. You may not be fit enough or ready enough to be there. So what role should camps play in your ability to get back? Like, what role should you think of for a camp in your return trajectory here in 2021 and beyond? And this is an important question, and one that I think that many people have not considered. The reason why I think camps should be an important part of the conversation that you're having, whether internally or with your team or here inside our team, is just that camps are essentially an accelerant, right? They are the kind of experience that work in many different ways, but I think about it 2 specific ways. First, having a camp out there is a deadline, right? It's a fitness deadline. I'm going to go do this thing. I've got to be ready to do that thing. I don't want to be the last person off the bike. I don't want to be the last person on the run. I need to be ready to do this camp and enjoy it, right? Have a good time, be there. So as on one level, you've got that pressure to get ready for that camp. On the other side as well, we have the return on not only the work leading into the camp, but we also have the return of the camp itself. Those 2 elements, with a little bit of recovery, compound your fitness and allow you to leap forward. Much like how, say, professional athletes will often stack races together. They'll do 2 or 3 race weekends and then take some time off. We can do a great deal of work to build fitness, push really hard in a short period of time, create excessive or significantly outsized training stress, and then give your body time to recover. And that effectively becomes another step up. Imagine one of those treadmill graphs, another step up in the stairway, in the path towards your peak fitness for this year. This is not the year to say, I'm going to grind away every day 365, because life just isn't allowing it. Whether you don't have the mental bandwidth for it, or just you're geographically constrained to only training in your house, or whatever that may be, you can't get access to the things that you want to do. We have to be creative. And I strongly encourage you to look at camps or other events as means to get better. Now, of course, since there's not a lot of other camps out there, you can roll your own. And if you Google Endurance Nation and training camps, you'll see some guidance that we have around what it means to create your own training weekend. We, inside our training plans, have scheduled weekends where we recommend people do larger volume in particular, so that you can maintain your normal 9 to 5 regular sort of vanilla life. But then beyond that, we can start adding fitness in discrete ways that doesn't really interrupt your family or your general flow, and allows you to work in some additional training, but also some recovery. Keep a nice balance in the rhythm that you've established, but also allow you to increase sneakily and sometimes very directly that fitness as you move across the year. So as you're looking at your season, take a look ahead and say, okay, August, September, October, November, what are my goals? Do I have races or do I have goals for 2021, whatever that may be? Look at that and say, okay, what milestones, camps, events, things can I put between me and that point in time that are going to make sure that I'm on point, and going to make sure that I'm building the fitness that I need. I do recommend that you set those milestones. I usually tell people 1 milestone every 6 to 8 weeks. If you don't have those milestones and you're just saying to yourself, look, we've got, say you've got a half Ironman, or maybe doing a marathon. I've got this, 3 to 5 hour event that's happening in 4 months. I'm really going to get focused. See you later. Come back next month. Were you or were you not really focused? It's hard to say. You're not feeling any external pressure because the event is so far away. There's nothing that you really need to hold yourself accountable to. You're not holding yourself accountable to pace or long runs yet. It's simply too far. But by dropping something in 6 weeks out, then we've got to start working our way around that, right? So if you said, for example, if you're doing that half Ironman example, let's just say that you set a goal to say, hey, I'm going to ride 80 miles. I'm going to over distance ride that half Ironman distance in 6 weeks. What do I need to do between now and the end of these 6 weeks to get in a position where I can ride 60 miles, whether it's inside or out or a combination thereof? Well, that forces you then to say, where am I now, right? Where do I want to be? And then create a plan to be able to execute that. If you're inside the team, that's something that I can help you with or your teammates can help you with. But what it does is it starts to engage you mentally, right? It starts to affect the training that you're doing on a daily basis and your mindset. I know this weekend's plan says do 2.5 hours, but I can actually do 3 or 3.25 because I'm building to this larger event. I need to kind of up that focus and keep going. It's moving towards that larger event. Almost like, don't tell yourself this, but almost even if you don't hit that target for the 80 mile on the weekend, you see you get out there, you only ride 60 or 65. It is still a net win because you never would have done it if you hadn't set that marker out there. So if you need to roll that on your own, great. If you have the opportunity to create an event or to participate in an event, then use that as well. Selfish plug for the ENVEREST challenge, although mini March is this weekend and we got our training going on tomorrow. Very exciting. Can't wait to share the results with you guys. We do have one more event in Ultra May, which is Memorial Day weekend, which is a 24, 36, or 48-hour challenge. You can pick the one that you want. You can register for free at www.endurancenation.us/ENVEREST, ENVEREST, if you get the joke. And you can be a part of the training, the fun, the smack talk, the picture taking, all the good stuff that's happening right now. I look forward to tomorrow. I'll be on the bike for about 10 hours, and we've got people who are going to be chatting me in our Discord channel, which is a voice chat for those of you who are not gamers or don't know, an opportunity to kind of connect with the team, get some mojo, share it back, and go forward. So speaking of ENVEREST, I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you some of the preparation stuff I've done. And there's logistics in when I'm doing a virtual Everest attempt around the number of laps. So just a quick primer for you. I'm doing the Alp to Zwift, which means I need to go up and down at 8.5 times. It's going to take me roughly an hour to go up each time. So that's 8.5 hours of climbing. It takes about 10 minutes to come down every time. So 8 by 10 is 120. So I'm at 950 plus the half, 955. Hopefully, all things being equal, no mechanicals, no issues, no bonking. I can hopefully get under 10 hours is my ambitious goal. I've already done it once, so I know I can do it, but I'd like to see, set myself a target and see if I can do more. And there's lots of logistics that I've taken care of down there, like choosing the right bike. And I've been putting this on social media, getting all my electronics charged, getting my food organized, and there'll be more that's going on. But speaking of food, I also want to, keep myself going, and I'll eat a lot more than just a bunch of gels the whole time. So I went food shopping. It's one of the reasons why I was late. Many reasons why I'm late, always. But I thought I'd pull out some of the items that I will be consuming tomorrow. And just for the record, I'm not eating all of these things tomorrow. They're just, you got to buy things in a box. So I bought a box. I'm not going to rip it open and buy one, right? Okay, so speaking of things in a box, I wanted a protein deal and I wanted something a little different. And of course, salt is good. So I have, I got these RX bars right here, little chocolate sea salt. They're small enough, super good, maybe a little sticky on the teeth, but overall pretty good. I have found that for my longer rides, anything beyond 3 hours, I need protein in some kind of capacity on those lower efforts. When I'm riding hard in a race, I'm much more glycogen oriented, or I could say carbohydrate biased. But on the longer endurance type stuff, I start to feel hungry even though I'm eating. Protein plays a big role in making sure that I'm good in that respect, right? In addition to protein, this is kind of a two-part thing, so I'll show you both. I also need caffeine, so we got to get the caffeine thing going too. So I'm trying something new this time around, which I haven't tried before, but I saw it the other day, and I was like, ooh, got to try it. So I kind of bought one was in a case and one wasn't. So I've got the new Coke with coffee. I've got the vanilla one here, vanilla flavored, and then I've got the one that has caramel. Each one of these bad boys has 70 calories. 18 grams of sugar, absolutely zero protein, hence those bars. And be a little mix here. So I get a little Coke, easy to drink. I can drink it cold, which is great because my garage is going to be freezing. And I also get some caffeine and some sugar as well. So I've got these little bite-sized cans. Probably important for me not to go overboard there. So I thought I'd try that out this time around. When I eat stuff like this, that's not like my sports drink or my sports fuel, Generally, I'm eating these things either in emergency situations, like break the glass, pull out the soda, or when I'm descending down the Alp and I've got some time to get off the bike. Definitely don't like consuming some of the stuff under duress, right? When you're sort of in that tough spot. All right. What else we got here? Oh, okay. Got to go salty. Some people like pretzels. I do not. I think Pringles, awesome salty go-to. Pretty durable can. So when Coach Patrick gets a little Butterfinger on the bike and I drop this, I'll be able to not worry about everything being damaged inside. Also good. Small footprint here on the Zwift table. So I can just put it here and it's not taking up a ton of space, which is also super good. And I can eat tiny little pieces at a time, which is great. So there'll be some salt had as well. Something fun, right? Let's see what else we have. My bonus rewards. Ever since my first Ironman. Hey, Mike, how's it going? That's super smart, right? Have it in your fridge. I love it. I've got the old fridge downstairs. Don't keep a lot of stuff in that fridge, but there's gonna be Luffin this weekend. I also need a reward. For those of you who have been following along, I've been doing some intermittent fasting for the last 6 weeks to hit my target weight of 180 pounds. I hit it this morning, which is ridiculous because that never works. But I love candy. I love snacks, as you can obviously tell. And one of the candies that I super love is Swedish fish. So I got myself, that's a little funky, it's kind of funky. I got myself some Swedish fish here as a reward. I can have a Swedish fish per lap. That'll be my little, like, get to the top, have a Swedish fish. Little, treat myself like a lab rat, give myself a little pellet. That'll be a nice little doodad, perhaps at some point in time. Or if I just, fall off the wagon and can't complete it, I can like eat Swedish fish and cry myself silently to sleep on my bike. Speaking of salty stuff, another thing that I love to mix things up is trail mix. So when you go to Target, they sell like gigantic boxes of trail mix. So I'm gonna have to have a few more challenges so I have the right to eat this. But it's got like chocolate chips and peanut butter chips and the nuts and the raisins and stuff like that. So again, different texture, some salt, some sugar. A handful of this is pretty good. It says a serving size is a quarter cup. So I'd say maybe 2 handfuls, or I do have very large hands, so maybe perhaps 1 handful. It's got 10 grams of fat. It's got 17 grams of sugar, 20 grams of carbs, 4 grams of protein. That's not too bad when you do the math on that, right? Add up the carbs and the sugars, 37. We take away, what do we got here? The fiber, we're down to 35. We divide it by the fat and the protein, 35 divided by 14. Kind of like 2.5 ratio there. That's not too bad in terms of the cost for this. So I'll take it as an exercise approved number. And again, very durable, easy stand. We'll sit on the table. I can easily put my hand here, grab something if I want, and go forward. The key is figuring out how I'm going to stagger all these bad boys. And then last but not least, I just got the old standby just 'cause I had to. And also as a shout out to the last time I did this, because I bought one of these and I didn't even open it until about the 6th lap, I want to say, out of 8.5. I pretty much drank the entire thing in those last 3 hours. And that I just went with the old school 2-liter bottle of Coke. This is the emergency one. Again, obviously a little excessive with the smaller Cokes. If I don't like this, I've always got the backup. Endurance sports, not so great for your teeth. But we need carbohydrates, and Coke has proven, at least for me, to be a very effective fuel in terms of getting me back awake again. In terms of like the sugar, the caffeine, and it's enough to have there. I do not flatten the Coke, but I would put this in a bike bottle, which makes it easier on my bike, easier to manage as well. So I got to make a lot of space those bikes. So the net is, let's kind of turn this here so you can see. I've got a lot of stuff right here. I'm not sure where the heck I'm going to put all that stuff for the ENVEREST, but I got some time to think it through. I also have regular, like I mentioned, gels and blocks, and I've got my sports drink, etc. All the things down there that will be there as well. But I'm not going to lie. Part of the reason why having an event, part of the reason doing something epic like this is not just the fitness, but there's just the anticipation. There's the a little bit of butterflies, a little bit of fear. Like, am I going to be able to do the thing that I said I'm going to do? I don't know. It's a bit of a risk. I'm rolling the dice. It's also fun to just plan. Like, I'm going shopping. It's almost like it's a mini race. Super fun. Like, it just kind of gives you an excuse to get out there and do some different stuff, right? So last but not least, and again, as a reminder, any comments you want, go ahead, put them right here in the chat. I see them. I see that Mike was giving me some love with his comment as he gets ready for his mini March ride as well. So please put it in there. I'm happy to talk to you, give you some dialogue, give you some feedback. Last piece I want to give you is a little bit of teaser. We have our first event in, good God, 18 months. It's behind the scenes, under wraps, going to put it out next week. It's a cycling event, Mid-Atlantic. and it's going to be pretty epic. It's going to be in June. We have done the planning behind it. We got world-class support. We've got an amazing route that has plenty of places for you to stop. And in true pandemic style, we've set the parameters, we've set up support, we've given you the guide rails, we've given you a map. We're going to tell you where to go. We'll meet you at the other side. We're going to put you in and come out the other side and see if you look the same. Guaranteed you're not going to. And then the next day, we're going to turn around and do it all again in reverse. So super epic, super fun. And guaranteed to be a good time. And so that's coming out next week. So a big teaser around that. I'm super excited to share that because it's a unique challenge. I think it's really accessible being in the Mid-Atlantic. And if you're on our Twitter, if you're at twitter.com/TeamEN, you've already seen the logo and you get a sense of perhaps what's coming. I don't know, but it's definitely worthwhile checking out our Twitter. And of course, I'll be posting all weekend on social media as well. But moving forward next week as I release information about the camp, the training event. I'll be putting that on our Instagram as well, so you can find us all there. As always, people on the team get a discount. People on the newsletter list, etc. You guys get an early invite, so you get in before we open it up to the public. And then after that, it's kind of a free-for-all. This is definitely the kind of event where you can invite your friends. We'll be outside cycling, open air, etc. So feel pretty safe about that. And you are free to kind of make your own plans around that as much as you want. All right, but super exciting. I definitely, speaking of just getting excited about this event, I was excited just to plan this event, put it together with some great people, and then deliver it to you, to the athletes, to say, hey, you know what? I do want something cool on the calendar. I do want a stretch event. Whether you want to do it for 1 day or 2 days is up to you. And hopefully get you inspired and get you on track. If your races all go to hell, you'll always have this on the year, and it's a pretty good block of training. It's about 8 weeks away, so you'd have plenty of time to get ready for it. It should be super, super cool. So stay tuned for that. Very excited about that. So with that said, I've got a monkey ton of work to do today between preparing for tomorrow, but also just clearing the decks for the weekend and closing out all the stuff that I had to do today, which I've totally not done. All right, hey, got a little message here from Mike. If I don't mind jumping on it real fast before I go. Mike says, thanks for turning me on intermittent fasting. Started 3 to 4 weeks ago, down 9 pounds, 175 to 167. That's awesome. Hey, Mike, just out of curiosity, what's the periodization ratio that you're using for that? I've been using 14 hours. So 14 hours fast, 10 hours on. But I know there's different ratios that people look at. And I'll be talking more about this as I capture my notes. I've been writing everything down and logging it, etc. My goal is to get down about 6.5, 7 pounds. And I was able to do that. Todd, hey, man, I look forward to seeing you follow me out there. I better get some ride-ons when I'm going. Okay, awesome. 3 days. Okay, 14:10. Awesome. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's awesome. I think that's an important piece as well. And I'll talk more about this when I start writing it up. And I think I'm going to actually create like a course. Members can use it. People not on the team can buy it. But really thinking about the periodization of this, it's not every day. Like I tell people, hey, I'm trying out this intermittent fasting thing. They're like, well, what are you holding that sandwich in your hand for right now? Like, it's not now. It's not today. Like I do it these other days. So I started off like that. I did Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just to kind of get into it and really dial the training intensity down on those days. And then I've gradually ramped it up to include my other training as well. It's been super, super interesting. And I think a lot of benefits beyond just managing food intake, because I was doing a really bad job of that. I think it really kind of plugs you in a little bit more to the needs of your body as you go through the training. So I'm super excited to get some of that out to you guys as well. But kudos to you. Losing that weight makes a big difference. I myself literally started at 187, I think in January when I started this process. I knew I was going to do this virtual Everest attempt now. And my goal for the year was to get down to 180, literally get on the scale this morning. I put it up on Twitter, twitter.com/PMcCran. Bam, I get on the scale to 180. I had to get off and get back on again because I didn't believe it. So which is fantastic. And that's with clothes on. So I'm almost pretty much race weight, which is kind of crazy to be there in early March, but it's awesome. And that definitely gives me the bandwidth now where I can kind of get a little more relaxed, etc. And obviously, as you can see from all the snacks here on my table, I'm not by any means going to be wasting away anytime soon. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been super fun. I will post this up and kind of leave it out there for everybody to kind of check out and see the Everest, virtual Everest thing. and the food and the related stuff they have going on. If you are doing mini march this weekend as part of the ENVEREST challenge, good luck, get some, have fun. Head over to the chat channel, tell people when you're going to be there so we can cheer you on. Post pictures when you're done. It's always super fun to see what people come up with and how creative they can be in terms of the training. Be safe out there, have a ton of fun. Can't wait to see you on the other side. We do a lot more cool stuff while we're recovering. Get those legs up, and then we'll let our brains do some work. How does that sound? All right. Take care, everyone. Be well. I'll talk to you guys soon.